Welcome, dear children. Chapter 7, Grade 7, Supplementary Reader, Chandni. It's a small, beautiful story. We will see the summary and question answers. Chandni, summary. Chandni is a story of love for freedom. In Almora, a hilly place in Uttarakhand, there lived Abu Khan. He lived alone with their few goats. Abu used to treat his goats as their own children and would call them with funny names like Kalwa, Mungia, Gujri, etc. He used to give their goats the juiciest grass and grains. Yet often the goats used to break the rope and disappear in the forest. There was a fierce wolf in the forest. Abu was not able to understand the reason. Chandni's coming to Abu's home soon. There were no goats left. Abu decided to live without them. But soon he was alone. He got a healthy and young goat. He bought a healthy and young goat. He was of a thought that the goat is young, she will love him and will never go away. He named the goat Chandni, which means moonlight. Many years passed and Chandni was still there in Abu's home. Abu uses to tell her the stories of other goats who were killed by the wolf. Chandni was of friendly nature. She would listen to Abu's story with interest and affection. Every morning she watched the hilltop, bathed in sunlight and missed the refreshing breeze. Now she stopped eating and became very thin. Abu did not understand the cause. One day she decided to talk to Abu. Abu was sad hearing the wish of Chandni. First, he tried to convince Chandni with the green grasses, longer rope, and stories of other goats. Chandni did not lose her determination. Now, Abu was angry and put her in the room with the rope tied. Chandni's escape very same night. Chandni was able to escape as she broke the rope and the window was open. She walked on the hills and was very happy. Chandni walked all day with joy. She met a group of wild goats. The group offered her to join the group, but Chandni refused as she was wanting to enjoy her freedom all by herself. Chandni's fight. Soon the sun hid and moonlight appeared. Now there was a fiery wolf with red eyes in front of Chandni. Chandni had no option and decided to fight back as she felt this freedom worth better than returning to Abu's home. Chandni was lesser in size yet healthy. She stood firm and pointed her hard horn towards the wolf. The fight went long. Winter, moon, and stars disappeared with time, and a new ray of sun came to the hilltop. Sun saw Chandni soaked in blood, while the wolf, tired and sleepy, was getting ready to devour Chandni. A herd of birds sat on the tree and was debating about the winner. All birds said, "The wolf is the winner." A wise old bird said in a firm voice, "The winner is Chandni." Moral of the story: everyone loves their freedom. This freedom is not confined only to humans but also applies to other creatures as well. Through this story, the author tries to tell the importance of freedom. We should live with independence and should never hurt someone else's independence. Question number one: why did Abu Khan's goat want to run away? What happened to them in the hills? Abu Khan's goats wanted to run away in order to enjoy freedom of movement and eat green grass, but they were killed and eaten up by a wolf in the hills. Abu Khan said, "No more goats in my house ever again." Then he changed his mind. Why? Abu Khan had a sad experience with his several pet goats. They all ran away to enjoy freedom. So he decided not to take any more pet. But he changed his mind because he felt very lonely. Why did he buy a young goat? Abu Khan bought a young goat thinking that it would stay with him much longer. Why did Chandni hate the rope round her neck? Like and other goats, Chandni too missed the hills and longed for freedom. She was not afraid of the wolf. Abu then put a rope round her neck and shut her in a small hut. Chandni would not help running towards the lovely hills. The rope pulled her back, so she hated it. Now Abu Khan understood Chandani's problem. What was Chandani's problem? Chandani's problem was that she hated imprisonment. The hills called her. She was not frightened of the wild wolf. Abu understood her problem and her love for freedom. Abu Khan pushed Chandani into a small hut. This shows that he loved her and wanted to save her life. Now, question number one, why did Chandni refuse to join the group of wild goats? Chandni rejected the offer because she wanted to enjoy her new freedom all by herself. Chandni fought the wolf because she had to retain her freedom at all cost. Why did the wise old bird say Chandni is a winner? The wise old bird declared Chandni the winner because she struggled to her last breath to retain her freedom. Death in an open field is better than life in a small hut. Chandni said to herself, was it the right decision? Give reasons for your answer. Chandani's decision to enjoy free movement in the open fields rather than life in a small hut was right. No sacrifice is too great for winning freedom. Freedom is life. Discuss this with reference to Chandani and I want something in a cage. It is indeed very much true that slavery is a virtual death. Chandni, the goat, expressed her love for freedom by sacrificing her life. She fought with wolf boldly. In the story, I want something in a cage. This love for freedom is expressed through a prisoner who spends all he had in order to buy freedom for a pair of birds. So, these are all extra questions. Who was Abu Khan? Abu Khan was an old man. He lived all alone in a little hut in Almora. He tamed few goats. He grazed them during the day. At night, he would talk to them as if they were his children. How can you say that Abu Khan's goat were of the best hill breed? Goats in hilly regions hate being kept tied to trees or poles. They long for freedom. Abu Khan's goats too loved freedom. They broke loose their strings and disappeared in the hill. It shows they were of best hill breed. Why did Abu Khan feel sad? Abu Khan fed his goats on the juiciest grass and grains. He showered deep love on them as one showers on one's children. Still, they broke the ropes and loose and ran straight into the jaws of death. It made Abu Khan feel sad. Even the animals preferred death to slavery. Why did Abu Khan laugh with joy? The bigger goats did not stay forever with Abu Khan. They disappeared one after the other, so he bought a young goat. He thought that young goat will be grateful for his love and food. She would never think of the hills. It made him laugh with joy. Why did Abu Khan name his young goat as Chandni? The young goat was very pretty. She was white as snow. She had two little horns. She had gleaming red eyes. She had a friendly temperament. She was deeply interested in Abu Khan. Therefore, Abu Khan named her as Chandni. Why and when did Abu Khan become unhappy? Abu Khan learnt that Chandni desired to go to the hills. She had no temptation of eating tastier food or being tied with a longer rope. She did not feed to Abu's warning or being eaten up by an old wolf. She answered back that she would fight the wolf. Her insistence to go to the hills made Abu Khan unhappy. How did Chandni feel on reaching the hills? Chandni was hell bent on going to the hills. She did not care the least for Buchan's loving words and warnings. Abu Khan shut her in a small hut. However, she managed to make her passage through the windows. She reached the hills. She thought that the hills were welcoming her. She felt that the tall grass longed to embrace her. The blooming flowers amused her. The wind also appeared pleasant to her. She considered herself lucky for seeking freedom from Abu Khan's prison house. She played joyful for hours on the grassy slopes of the hills. What misfortune came to Chandni after sunset? The sun disappeared behind the hills. Darkness prevailed everywhere on grass, flowers, and trees. There was no wind. She heard a grunting sound of a dangerous wolf. She got scared and she thought of Abu Khan, but was not willing to return to him for safety. She considered death in open field far better than life in a small hut. The wolf came out of the bushes. He was sure that he would be able to eat the goat. The goat was also sure that she would be soon torn to pieces. But she did not lose courage. She stood firmly on her legs to face the wolf boldly. She got ready to put up a good fight. However, she was killed by the wolf. Thank you.